Have you ever thought about why people launder money? Why can't just people spend money on luxurious yachts, sports cars and luxury holidays once they receive illicit funds after committing criminal activity? Why can't people just put their cash in a safe and spend it right away? Why do they need to go further steps to launder money at extra costs, risking getting caught? This video will answer these questions. Hello and welcome to my channel. I am an anti-financial crime specialist at one of the biggest online banks of Europe, and I have opened this channel to educate people more about financial crime and its prevention methods. Today we're talking about why people launder money. In this video, we will answer the rationale behind money laundering. Stay tuned. But for the sake of clarity, let's first define what money laundering is. Money laundering is the process of disguising the proceeds of illegal activities as legitimate funds. Essentially, it's a way for criminals to make their illegal money appear legal. Money laundering is a financial crime that affects individuals, businesses, and even governments all around the world. Let's say that the criminal engages in an illegal activity, such as drug trafficking or tax evasion, and generates a profit from it. Illicit funds, or funds that have been generated through illegal means, cannot be spent directly or easily because they are subject to scrutiny and investigation by law enforcement agencies. Let's assume that a person or organization tries to spend large sums of illicit money in a short period of time, for example, on expensive real estate, sports cars and luxury items. What can happen? This can draw the attention of financial institutions and authorities, who may suspect that the funds are being used to launder the proceeds of a criminal activity. Therefore, to avoid getting caught by authorities, the first stage of money laundering kicks in, called placement. This stage is typically done by a series of transactions, designed to confuse the authorities, and make it difficult to trace the money back to its illegal origins. Methods of placement can include depositing the money into a bank account by the help of multiple third parties, exchanging it for a less traceable asset, such as gold or diamonds, or using it to purchase legitimate business. As you can see, criminals basically attempt to place the illicit funds into the financial system. Once the illicit funds are placed into the financial system, it is now time for the second part of the money laundering process, called layering. The layering stage of money laundering involves separating the illicit proceeds from their source by creating complex layers of financial transactions. These transactions are also designed to confuse authorities so that they cannot link it with the initial source of the funds. This is typically done by transferring the money through a series of accounts in different names or in different countries, using wire transfers, shell companies, or other methods to obscure the trail. What you are doing is basically putting layers between the movement of the funds, therefore it gets harder for authorities to track where the funds are coming from. The layering stage is often the most technically complex part of the money laundering process, as it requires the use of sophisticated financial instruments and a deep understanding of the global financial system. To realize this stage, criminals make use of expert corporate lawyers, accountants, and cross-border trade specialists. The integration stage of money laundering is the final step in the process, in which the illicit proceeds are reintroduced into the economy as legitimate funds. This is typically done through the use of shell companies, offshore accounts, or other methods that allow the funds to be used without drawing attention to their illegal origins. The integration stage is often the most risky part of the money laundering process, as it requires the launderer to find a way to use the laundered funds without arousing suspicion. Simply, once this stage is over, you can spend all laundered funds in any way that you wish. Having explained what money laundering is and how it works, let's explain why people engage in money laundering. There are a few main reasons. One common reason is to conceal the proceeds of illegal activities, such as drug trafficking, arms smuggling, or fraud, in order to avoid detection and prosecution. Money laundering can also be used to evade taxes or to fund terrorism. Terrorism financing refers to the act providing financial support to individuals and groups who engage in terrorism activities. By laundering money, terrorists and their supporters can conceal the illegal sources of their funds, and use the laundered money to finance their activities without detection. In some cases, people may engage in money laundering as a way to evade economic sanctions, or to avoid currency controls. Let's look at one of the largest money laundering cases that have ever been recorded, to see how money laundering takes place in practice. You have probably heard of Pablo Escobar, the notorious Colombian drug lord. He was known to have used a variety of methods to launder the proceeds of his illegal drug trafficking activities. One method Escobar used was to invest in legitimate businesses, such as real estate and construction companies. Taxi companies were in particular the favorite of Mr. Escobar. He would then use these businesses to funnel the illicit money into the economy, making it appear as if it was being generated by legal means. Escobar also used money brokers and exchange houses to transfer the money to banks in other countries, where it could be more easily disguised as legitimate funds. In addition, Escobar is believed to have used the services of black market peso exchange operations, which allowed him to exchange his drug money for Colombian pesos at a discounted rate. We will have detailed videos about all these money laundering techniques and how to detect and prevent them. Stay tuned. Finally, Escobar is known to have bribed government officials and law enforcement agents to look the other way and allow his money laundering activities to continue unchecked. Overall, Escobar was able to launder billions of dollars through a complex network of shell companies, front businesses, and financial intermediaries, making it difficult for authorities to trace the origin of the funds. You might think that what is wrong with some rich guys laundering money? How can it affect an ordinary citizen? We have to note that money laundering has serious consequences for both individuals and society as a whole. For us, individuals, getting involved in any stage of money laundering can lead to criminal charges and imprisonment. On a larger scale, money laundering undermines the integrity of financial systems and can have far-reaching impacts on economies and society as a whole. It can have a damaging effect on the economy, as it allows illegal activities to thrive and can undermine trust in the financial system. In particular, money laundering encourages tax evasion, which means lost revenue for your country's budget, which could have been spent on social welfare, infrastructure development, and investment in research. Therefore, money laundering is a major concern for governments, financial institutions, and law enforcement agencies around the world, as it enables criminal organizations to continue operating and expanding their illegal activities. The more active criminal organizations are in your country, the more it will result in enforcement and judiciary costs for your local government to catch, prevent any crime and punish the criminals. So, what can we do as a society to prevent money laundering? One effective way to prevent money laundering is through the implementation of strong anti-money laundering policies and procedures. Financial institutions also play a crucial role in preventing money laundering by implementing robust internal controls and training their employees to recognize and report suspicious activity. Banks usually conduct thorough customer due diligence to identify potential risks, monitor transactions for suspicious activity, and report any suspicious activity to the appropriate authorities. If you had to provide what we bankers call source of funds evidence for a transfer of more than 10,000 euros of dollars, welcome. It is because of the customer due diligence requirements imposed on banks. You might have come across with news about Sam Bankman-Fried, the founder of FTX, a bankrupt company which formerly operated a cryptocurrency exchange and crypto hedge fund. It's estimated that the company's collapse cost its users $8 billion in deposits and wiped out the entire $16 billion fortune of its founder, according to Bloomberg, which definitely can be approached as one of the largest destruction of wealth in history. But how is it relevant to money laundering? FTX is indicted for fraud, money laundering, and campaign finance offenses by the US government. Governments can also take steps to prevent money laundering by enacting and enforcing strict laws and regulations, and by providing resources and support to law enforcement agencies to investigate and prosecute money laundering cases. In conclusion, money laundering is a serious issue that has far-reaching consequences for individuals and society. By being aware of the signs and taking steps to protect yourself, you can help prevent this illegal activity and make the financial system safer for everyone. Thanks for watching our first video. If you received any value from this video, please do not forget to subscribe to our channel and like this video. Feel free to let us know down in the comments what kind of other topics you would like to see in our other videos. Stay safe.